The House Elections Committee will come to order. Would the clerk please take attendance?
Chair Cerniglu.
Here.
Representatives Wagella. Here. Pope.
Here.
Colazar.
Here.
Burns.
Here.
Churches.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
DeBoyer.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Representative DeBoyer makes a motion to adopt the minutes from the October 3, 2023 meeting. Without objections, the minutes are adopted. For today's agenda, we will be having a vote on House Bill 4981, which would require those running for sheriff to have served as a police or local corrections officer for at least 5 years. I will now provide an opportunity for additional testimony, seeing as we have someone in the audience who would like to speak to this bill. We have Rick Briand, representing himself as a candidate for sheriff of Berrien County. Welcome, Mr. Briand. If you could keep your testimony to less than 5 minutes, we would appreciate it. And if you could have a seat. Okay. I was going to say, we actually do have recordings of the committee.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm a little nervous. I have a written statement, so I'm going to read my statement. If you have any, I'm a little nervous, so I'm going to read this statement. If you guys have any questions afterwards, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions for you. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rick Briand. I am here today to express my dissatisfaction with and opposition to House Bill 4981. I am speaking to you not only as a concerned citizen and a Michigan voter, but also as a current and former sheriff's candidate. I have been registered to run since March of 2023 when I organized my campaign committee and filed my affidavit of identity and paid the $100 filing fee. When I ran previously in the 2016 election cycle, I received 17% of the total vote, which was over 9,000 individual votes. Obviously, those people thought I was qualified to run to serve as sheriff in 2016, so we must assume the same is true now. My campaign donors feel that way as well, and I've been told that there's a concern about the time overlap. There's a 2-month period for people to become acquainted with the sheriff's office, so if any need to be trained in protocol or procedure for emergencies can be covered in that 2 months. House Bill 4981 hamstrings the sheriff's office and endangers the freedom, the liberty, and equality of all of us. It disenfranchises voters of their freedom to choose their representative in the sheriff's office. It is discriminatory on its face and in general, as it excludes 99% of the voting population from serving as sheriff. It assumes voters cannot make their own choices. It creates an elite and protected class of individuals. It fails to address disciplinary issues and service records altogether, and it left the voters' opinions completely out of the process. It seems the sponsors of this bill believe themselves to be more knowledgeable than the Michiganders who wrote the Constitution and intentionally left out any requirements other than residing in the county in question and being a qualified elector. If the founders wanted any other requirements or deemed them necessary to the function of the office, they would have added that at that time. They did not codify mandatory military service, since modern policing did not exist at that time, but they could have had it been necessary. They did not do so for a reason. They wanted the best person for the job, and they trusted the voters to make the correct choice. The elected sheriff is the people's protector. That includes the common people as well as the deputies. The people give their consent to the sheriff because they trust him or her to do what's right for everyone. We trade a little freedom for safety. House Bill 4981 takes away an enormous amount of freedom and offers zero increase in safety. In fact, I've not seen any fact-based evidence to suggest that there is a need for this at all. Frankly, it is an unconstitutional waste of time. As this bill stands, most of the men and women who have served as sheriff with honor and integrity in the past would be disqualified from the office. What is the constitutional reason for this bill, and why is it moving so quickly? In 2016, I asked several police officers to challenge Paul Bailey, who's the current sheriff in Berrien County, and they all said a resounding no. In the spring of 2023, I spoke with a lieutenant deputy who told me he wouldn't run for the office because he saw what they did to me in 2016 and he wouldn't put his family through that. He also informed me that he was told if he did run, he better not lose by more than 500 votes or his career would be over. He was also reminded that that he has children that drive. I could go on and on about this issue for a long time, but I will end with this. This bill will have a fiscal impact on the state, the counties, and local units of government. It will have an impact on my campaign, my voters, my donors, and my financial and political future. I will be victimized, but so will millions more. The entire future of our democratic process is threatened by this bill, and I am asking you to not only reject it, but publicly disavow it and prevent it from ever coming up again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Briand. Do we have any questions? Are you willing to answer questions? Thank you, Representative Wagella.
Hi, thank you for your testimony today. My question is, do you have any police experience?
No, I actually have a bachelor's degree in community service with a focus on family systems. I intended to earn my Juris Doctorate, so that's why I got the bachelor's degree, but God took me in a different direction and told me to run for sheriff, so that's what I'm doing now.
Can you talk about, in your opinion, some of the benefits you see as having someone outside of law enforcement serving in the role of sheriff?
Absolutely. I mentioned in my testimony that I know a deputy who is afraid to run because of the ramifications that he's already seen by being an underling to the sheriff's department. Would you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of some, but I'm curious, in your view, what benefits there could be of somebody who's not a police officer being sheriff?
I think outside of the box. I'm not restrained by any previous oaths to the union, to the police brotherhood. My only oath would be to the people that serve the public. I don't have any other ties or any hidden agenda. There's nothing that, I don't owe anybody anything. I think that's important in the sheriff's office because the sheriff is the #1 law enforcement officer in the county. And if he has obligations to anyone other than the people that vote for him, then he's compromised. Anything else?
And Mr. Briand, what is your current occupation?
I'm retired right now. I was self-employed for 35 years.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, thank you for your testimony. We have a card from Bill Richardson from Pime opposing the bill. We also have an opportunity if we have anyone else who would like to speak to the bill or the substitute. Does either of you wish to address that? No? Thank you. So we do have a substitute, which is a grammatical fix. So Representative Hope makes a motion to adopt substitute H1 to HB 4981. Mr. Clerk, please call the vote.
On the motion to adopt the substitute, Chair Cerniglu?
Yes.
Representatives Wagella?
Yes.
Pope?
Yes.
Colazar?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Churches?
Yes.
Smith?
Pass.
DeBoyer?
Pass.
Madam Chair, you have 6 yeas, 0 nays, 2 pass. The substitute is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Representative Colazar makes a motion to report HB 4981 with recommendation. Mr. Clerk, please call the vote.
On the motion to report, Chair Cerniglu?
Yes.
Representatives Wagella?
No.
Hope?
Yes.
Colazar?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Churches?
Yes.
Smith?
Pass.
DeBoyer?
Pass.
Madam Chair, you have 5 yeas, 1 nay, 2 pass. HB 4981 is reported with recommendation, substitute H1.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. There being no further business before the committee will stand adjourned.